reconvene. I assume both sides are ready.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Edgeworth?
It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We need more time to do a more detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Oh, wow. Looks like Miss Impact never left the suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Mr. Ungod. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Ungod could not have known that, and so the facts remain unchanged. Acting on the assumption that it was real, he had planned to possess it. That does sound very plausible. The theory that Ungod had no idea the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If anything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Ungod to not have known it was a fake. Take that! What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera! You kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier, you claimed that Mr. Ungod knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim, isn't that right? If this were true, then this means Mr. Ungod would have known that the victim had forged the note! Ah! So the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake? If that's true, the situation is suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor! The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Ungod's motive for murder was has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Ungod monitored Mr. Corrida 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Ungod didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Gah! Order, Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured? Huh? As I figured? It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Ungod's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call witnesses to the stand at this time. Oh, well that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists! Who can answer that question with such certainty? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shelley the killer. Oh, Mr. the killer. What? Shelley the killer? You mean killer? The assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor? How can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what the urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person! We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer! Looks like we have one into yet another unexpected turn of events! Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... And now, witness! There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Moncoria. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Korea. Well, we have answered that. Let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say? There is something I must first state. It's an assassin. Nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp that concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. Killer seems to be a very clever man. It's almost say he seems to be mocking us. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He's no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. But too many people know my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But could someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before. If it ever did, yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough! Please, no more! Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their wall. This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? Is it a gentleman who spoke just now? Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, didn't say anything. The judge has better watch himself. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my client will not scream about me and my identity. Those are the rules and duties assessing his client to carry out. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. The person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relations with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. Assassin of a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? The case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really? In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. And that is it. I'm as this witness. No, I do believe it's sometime within my client, don't you agree? What is it? No, I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews. What?
Objection!
Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier! Wait, what are you talking about, prosecutor? I think I know it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be! On the phone earlier. What's going on here? I guess that Mr. Killer just stabbed Mr. Edger from the back. Stabbed Edger from the back. So in order to get an audience in this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Not Ungone, perhaps? I knew it.
Objection!
This is outrageous. I was deceived. This was kind of a very serious lie. You were the one who summoned this witness. You are the killer. Just the truth. At the moment, it's not time for it. Am I correct? All I was all of a sudden, it feels like you can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution is failed to provide a motive and has instead provided the suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there was a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. This is the killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. Now, with all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. McDonald is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue to discuss it and call me when you have reached the verdict. Bailiff, please bring Mr. Adrian Andrews in immediately. Now, the way this is going, Ungone will be found innocent. This will be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edward is right. The killer's lying. And Ungone, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I look for myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution gentleman would resolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Say the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. The testimony just now. It was all one big lie. Miss Andrews. Suicide note may have been a fake. But that man, Matt,
he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got put into Matt's twisted ward. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie.
The killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. Knife and button, donning the Nickel Samurai costume.
That's...
You have a motive. You know, you see this is a large part of your life. You want to follow her. That's against the two caution. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead.
No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. Hold me.
Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept the not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt Ungod is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. I let Miss Andrews be convicted, and I'm no better than Ungod. Even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact. It is because of Edrup that I now know the real truth. You could have gotten Ungod convicted so many times over. You never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'll be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, this is criminal client in his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through the witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, the miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please reestablish the connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else would you need from me? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you knew about this case. That is, how things are usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? As I have already stated quite a few times, Agent Andrews is my client. However, one thing that I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of a crime. My client did justify one another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Agent Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Mr. Winfrey was dead. Even more, incident planting of the knife and button, and that is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is the most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now? However, this time, everything is funny but not real.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimonies like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense requested the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why?
What is this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony then, and I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes two of us.
Objection!
Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Mr. Wankarita had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. Glass? So the killer's supposed client thought Mr. Kurita had only fainted. This is why this glass of tomato juice was pulled from the victim. Isn't that just a Agent Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have been left on their fingerprints. Had this been planned, they would have never had left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Sir Edward, what is your opinion? Easy enough. I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not the important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you're mistaken. Agent Edges really is your client, as you claim. Then your client should have that knowledge of Mr. Kurita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Agent Edges was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requested further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me about a week ago. As a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. May I ask certain points to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred, and I trust my memory, and I have made no mistakes. So you physically met with your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Hold it!
So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. Was that? Was that with the brief pause? Witness, I'd like for you to give us a few more details. Always been my client. I've never taken a request for telephone mail. Why is that? Because I value the trust between the client and myself above all else. The only way to establish this is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Mr. Wright, is the testimony just now of any importance? Please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. Just so I know that I can trust this person as a client.
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy? How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry. That is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you just say now? About her? You had even met Adrian Andrews in person. One would could tell you that she is a woman. Order the court, Mr. Wright. What is the meaning of this? The witness testified to the following. He always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. He has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgewright, I understand your logic on this one. However, the assassin makes such a basic mistake. I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is apparent to have a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had ever stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What is going on? Shelley the Killer! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does this mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. Though I have many times when I took it up without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Mr. Ron Creed and 2 or 3 other suspects. When I saw their name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job for your letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious. But I think we're okay, like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Two or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? The other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It wouldn't matter if I pressed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I've said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination.
You are planning to betray your own client?
That's... Steps of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Alright! Uh-oh, this is looking really bad. This is not going. Is this what we're doing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested for. It's truly that important, I suppose I don't have a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Kurita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Please include what you just stated in your testimony, as you wish. One of these was to find the bear figure and give it to Adrian Andrews.
Objection!
Sully the Killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside of it. This item? I see where you're going at. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where's everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. Of course. And even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Mrs. Andrews' hands, I'm supposed to would have taken the suicide note out of it and bought it.
Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going.
So, the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear,
Your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means...
it means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client.
Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix Wright.
I'm sure I've mentioned this before.
I hate traitors above all else!
I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me.
You must reciprocate your end of our agreement.
No, that's not!
That's enough! If that is your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please!
Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
Hold it!
No! Please! Not that! Please wait!
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise...
What is it? Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor. This is enough.
Well, son, Edgeworth, you can't do this! You keep stop, Maya! Sure!
Prosecution! What has come over everyone? Even you are! Prosecution rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is the most unusual situation. Prosecution rests with no further questions, and the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. That is the case, and even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. the Killer's testimony is accurate. I believe that Shelley the Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. White? Yes, Your Honor. And the trial here right now. The client, Matt Ungar, be declared innocent. In his place, Agent Andrews will be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews, charge of murder.
Prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear from the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Ungar, to the stand. I'm sure the killers have been making time. Try as hard as we could. Looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Ungard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that professor like a spring breeze crab. It's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and announce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? I'm gonna get Ungard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya would die. If I say he's innocent, Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. Go ahead, so what I choose. Now then, Mr. White, let's hear the defense's final statement on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Ungard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's always going to say what I want, aren't you? White, I can't do this. I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Ungard, is... We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Ungard, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Ungard is...
Objection!
Francisco von Karma! What are you doing here? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's gumshoes. You can find his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I've long and hard this whole trial. All that was inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor! Inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. The final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented to now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last.
I request that Miss Montgomery be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Montgomery, you please. These pieces of evidence are items that find the killer during his escape from the police. Quite a wash. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Some among the evidence we're about to see will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. This is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. The killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Does the pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, wasn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. Get the bullet they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it would be an excellent sample for that test. Was used to shoot Francisco. It's probably not going to help us very much. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. The killer took that from unguard Manson. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Yeah, I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. Somehow, it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. So the killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gate Bottle Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There's one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There's a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. So if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That's all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from inside the killer's head would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. These 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Montgomery. You may step down.
Hold it!
Wait, Your Honor! Please, allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try, for my sake, just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2. The first, make Ungard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client wishes first. If Ungard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Ungard. If the killer were to no longer think of Ungoddess's client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible! He's a man who vows his duty towards his client above all else! I knew both of these seemed like impossible feats at first. If you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what he has always worked for us? The other side. Wait, does he mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth. It may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I am not saying it as us that needs evidence, Your Honor. Then, you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. One chance? Please show us your evidence who you think is the right person.
Objection!
It's impossible to turn the situation around in one try. One try. That is all I will permit. Try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking Ungar down at the same time! Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to?
Take that!
I see. And now, tell us this code what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alright, looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. Most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know what the contents of this tape? Do you know the contents of this tape? That's what the line is. I was solely told by my client to not watch it. So I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted the camera? Well, the only person who could have planted the camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews? Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir! Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was all, so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. I did Matt Ungard film the crime scene. The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole match. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene, okay? Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said.
But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want.
Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer?
Looks like.
It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors, first of all. Yes, that's right. But what if your traitor was your own client?
What would you do then?
That's obvious.
I would break our contract in that case.
And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity. I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I want to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I'll never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and Miss Montgomery, where did that? She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down the verdict. Mr. Ungard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You were finally received the acquittal you want so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you will understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me! Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is that alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Do whichever way your heart tells you. What, Chief? Congratulations, Mr. Matt Ungard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, As always, the defense pleads not guilty.
Very well.
This court finds the defendant mad on guard. Hold it! Please, wait!
What's the matter?
If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed! I'm... No! Guilty!
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
I don't remember you helping out much in this.
Mr. Edward,
I was mad on guard. I have left this one comment in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal of ripped leather right about now.
very good.
That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own fun, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edward really went after her. I guess he's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I'd finally been saved. Wow, it's the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I've felt comfortable with myself. With who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is now adjourned.